This video was recorded live before a canned studio audience. It's Friday Night Movie Reviews, and here they are, Chris and Keith.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm Keith.
I'm Chris.
And this is Friday Night Movie Reviews. We thank you for being here with us tonight. We have another movie review for you that we went and saw over the weekend. And we have a guest, our guest back with us tonight because he went and saw this movie with us as well. Everybody please welcome my son, Byron. All right. This is the movie that we went to see this past weekend. We went and saw Transformers the week before, and we went and saw another movie that was a little surprising called The Wild Robot. So the basic premise of this movie is this movie was made by DreamWorks.
Yep.
And you were telling me earlier how much it made. How much did this movie make this weekend?
Well, it was the number one movie over the weekend. It made $35 million. It actually finally dethroned Beetlejuice, the second one. And then it's continuing to make money. And the one thing to know is this is actually part of a book series for children. Right. This was the first in a series of 3 books, so they could technically make 2 sequels to this if they really wanted to. The guy that directed this actually used to work for Pixar, and he left Pixar and started working for DreamWorks. And the hallmark all over this movie, you could just see it's like old Disney. It feels like old Disney, even though it's made by DreamWorks, and it just had that lot of that heart to it. And right. I was really, really surprised by that. Like, because I remember going in, me and him were like, well, we're just going to go see it for By-Win. That's why, we're going to get through this movie. And honestly, kind of like with Transformers 1, I think we enjoyed it probably more than he did. So that's hard to say.
What it is, folks, the trailers for these movies are a little bit misleading. The trailer for Transformers 1 was a little misleading, and it's not as much of a children's movie as it makes it look, as the first trailers made it look to be. And this movie is kind of the same way. It really makes it look a lot like a kid's movie, but we're going to get into more of that later on. Basically, what this movie is, the basic premise of it is, there is a robot, and it's supposed to be some kind of service robot, but it's dropped off on an island, and it is trying to survive on this island, but it has this programming that it is supposed to perform a task and then call its whatever, the factory or whatever, to bring it back. And once it puts out its little transponder on its head, the factory comes and retrieves it and takes it back and gets the information from it and then sends it back out for another task.
Yeah, the problem is that it was part of a cargo that just got lost at sea, basically. Right. And there was no humans, because it normally performs tasks for humans. It's kind of like a butler robot. You can kind of say it like that. But it's like, okay, do you need a task complete? That's kind of how the robot approaches everything. But they're animals. They're like, we don't, they're afraid of this thing. Right. And it is, to me, this movie, not to give away too much from the plot, because the previews do not give away the plot of this movie at all. It's just basically a robot out in the woods is all you see.
And a lot of animals. You see a lot of animals, and I'm going to give you in just a moment what I thought the movie was going to be about, actually.
But, basically she ends up helping this young goose, and it's a story about this goose growing up. And the movie's the way I like to phrase this movie is, this was a movie made for parents but kids can watch it. I mean, that's really the way the movie comes off to me, because it really is as much about growing up as it is about parenting, and dealing with your child growing up, and you're aging at the same time. And it was very heartfelt. I was not expecting that.
Think of the older Disney films, back before they started putting some of the content that's in it now. Think of the older Disney films, the older Pixar films, where the whole family could go and watch it and get something from it.
Yes.
And then the parents would enjoy it because of the humor that was in it. The kids would enjoy it because of the humor that they got. So it like focused on the humor for everybody watching it. And that's what this movie was.
Yes.
This movie was just as much for parents as it is for kids, which leads us to, is this a family-friendly movie? Yes, it is. Exactly. I don't remember any foul language in this movie at all.
So
none.
You can bring any age group to this movie. Like, all the small children can watch this. This was a true, like, G-rated movie.
Right.
I didn't hear any foul language. There wasn't anything even suggested in the movie.
Right.
Now, the movie does deal with death as well. There is that, and they, there are a lot of things for laughs in the movie when dealing with death to kind of ease the tension in the film. But they do treat it seriously, and you'll see further on in the movie. But yeah, this is completely safe. Bring your kids to this. This is one that they will enjoy.
Right.
So there's nothing to worry about with this one.
Yeah, Byron laughed through the movie. He liked it a lot. I think all three of us laughed. We probably annoyed the other people that were in the theater with us. But what is from a kid's perspective, from a kid's point of view, Byron, what did you think about this movie?
I mean, did you like it? Was it funny? I mean,
did you laughed a lot in it? There were a lot of really good parts in it that you liked. He was talking a lot more about it on the way home than he is here.
Like, who was your favorite character in the film?
All of them.
All of them.
All of them. Yeah. Yeah.
He's the fox, the bear.
Yeah, he's kind of an animal. He's an animal fanatic. So all the animals that were in there, he really enjoyed it. And that's one thing. That's one of the things that was about this movie, was there was something that everybody could pick in the movie, and everybody could find something to relate to in this movie. When I tell you that it had the old feel of the old Disney and Pixar movies, I'm not kidding. The writing, the humor that's in it, just the animation, everything about it is just so reminiscent of the old Disney films. It's almost like DreamWorks is climbing up into that spot.
Yeah, to become the new Disney.
Right.
I will say this too. He had a reaction when he found out, after seeing this movie, that it was based on a book. He actually wanted to start reading those books. So it actually will encourage your children to want to read, which is something that, we have a hard time today with kids trying to get them into reading and whatnot.
Right.
And I found that very encouraging. And we didn't make him say that. He was like, "Hey, I want to read these books now that he knows that they're books." And
in fact, he said, "It's a book. I would read that book."
Yeah.
So if you go and see the movie, and if you take your kid or take another kid to see it, make sure you point out to them that this is based on a book. Wait until the end, though.
Yeah.
Don't do it right at the beginning, because that might discourage them right from the start.
They're like, it's a book, yeah.
But wait until they see it. Wait until you get their reactions from it, and then let them know, hey, you know what? This is based on a book. Look. Because it shows it in the end credits. And speaking of end credits, I will say this. Stay for the end credit scene.
Yep.
There is an end credit scene. Now you'll have to sit there and you'll have to go through. You have to sit through everything that scrolls through, but wait for the end credit scene.
Yeah, and believe me, this one was done. He did not want to wait, but then he was like, it was worth it to wait when he
Right.
realized, hey, there really is something at the end.
Right. So we're going to give our personal views on the film, and I think you kind of got a little gist of what we think about it. I enjoyed the movie. I liked this movie a lot. I liked it because it didn't have a lot of foul language in it, any that I can remember.
Yeah.
Now, if you go and see it and you hear one, be like, "Oh, you're wrong. There was a blah, blah, blah."
Yeah. Leave a comment, letting us know that we were wrong.
Yeah,
like,
leave us a comment and let us know.
We aren't perfect. We do miss things, so
right.
you know.
And you know, just like you may be with just like with us. Unfortunately, foul language you can become desensitized to it, and you can just hear it and miss it. But I don't remember hearing anything.
I don't either.
In the film about it, and that's one of the things that I liked about it. I liked that it was a family friendly film. You can take your kid to see this movie and not be concerned at all about any kind of anything in this movie. There are no agendas in this movie. There's no foul language in this movie, and I personally I thought this was going to be an agenda-driven movie when I saw the
something about like climate change or something along those lines.
Something to that effect,
yeah.
And I thought this film was going to be geared in that direction. And if you're anything like I am, when you go to the theater and you watch a movie, you want to disconnect from all of that stuff. I mean, we get bombarded with it all throughout our lives every single day anyway. And I just want to go and I want to be entertained. And that's exactly what this movie did. It was entertaining. Now, I will say this, parents, I'm going to give you a warning. Take yourself a big old box of Kleenex. You're going to need it because this movie is going to tug at your heartstrings. You're going to laugh and you're probably going to cry. You're probably going to tear up a little bit, especially you mamas. You mamas out there are going to bawl your eyes out. What were you going to say?
It is touching.
It is very touching. Even the kid is saying that it's a touching movie. So it is a very touching movie, and I really enjoyed it for that.
I did too. I'm not a parent, but you can see it, you know, especially if you had a strong mother figure in your life, and I certainly did. The wild robot becomes a surrogate mother to the goose in the film, and it hits you in the feels, just absolutely right here the whole time. I'm like trying to hold in from like crying in front of them, you know. It's just like, cause I really wanted to, cause it was such a sweet tale of a coming of age for the goose and growing up and everything, and I can remember being angsty just like the goose was in parts of the movie. It really, like, I remember being that age. I remember being just like that. And then you regret some of the things that you say to your parents, you know. And the movie, too, establishes that family's not just about blood. It can be, you know, family isn't just defined by blood. You can be family. You make family what it is, and home can be anywhere.
Right.
And the movie pulls that across so well. This movie is about family. It's about parenting. Essentially, it's about love. It's a great film, and I can't say anything negative about it. I have nothing negative to say about this film.
Nothing.
I fully recommend you go see this. This is definitely worth your cash. I'm going to steal his tagline. It is worth your cash, so definitely go see this one. You know, especially if you're on a budget, go see it matinee, maybe on a Saturday or Sunday or something. Go see it on matinee. It is totally worth your time to see. This would be a one to add to your collection once it comes out, because it is DreamWorks, because they don't have their own streaming service. So add this one to your collection.
Because your kids are definitely going to want to watch this one over and over and over. It's that good. It is that good.
It is that good.
What did you think about it, Bayan?
Very good.
Very good. All right. So if we go with our rating system, I would give this movie probably a 10 out of 10 popcorns. And I know I'm pretty generous with my popcorn, but I always get a large bucket of popcorn, so I can be generous with it. But anyway, that being said, yes, this movie definitely does deserve 10 popcorns because it is just that good.
I agree. It's 10 sodas for me. Like I really enjoyed this movie. It was a nice callback. It felt like something that I could have been watching as a child myself. It just hits you right where it needs to. It kind of had that Pixar magic. That was
Right.
another thing.
Yeah.
Like a movie
I
like
agree.
Up had that same kind of emotion to it. So yeah, get ready to wipe away some tears.
Mm-hmm.
Have some really good laughs. Your children will enjoy it. They'll laugh because there's the fox is hilarious. His name's Fink in the film. And surprisingly, the cast. That's one thing we didn't mention was this has a very like wide array of cast, and the people you wouldn't even realize. Like Mark Hamill plays the bear.
Right.
Like you're gonna be like, what?
Right. Mark Hamill.
Yeah. Pedro Pascal is the fox Fink.
And for those of you who are not in the know, that's the guy who plays the Mandalorian.
Yep, he was on Game of Thrones. He was on he's on The Last of Us. So if you watch him from that, and he's going to be playing Mr. Fantastic in the Fantastic Four movie for Marvel coming up. So his voice was just unrecognizable. Same with Mark Hamill, and Mark Hamill usually uses his same distinctive voice for all of his characters.
Right.
I had no idea it was him.
Yeah, when we saw his name in the cast, we're like, huh?
That was Mark Hamill?
Really?
Yeah. That one caught us by surprise.
Yeah, that one caught us by surprise. Catherine O'Hara is in this movie.
Yep, she was the possum mom.
She was the possum mom.
And she did such a good job.
She did a good job. I'm telling you guys, this movie right here is just phenomenally good. I just can't say enough about it. How many slices of pizza would you give it?
If I could go higher, I would give it 1,000,000 out of 10.
A million out of 10. So there you go. From a kid's point of view, he gives it 1,000,000 out of 10. 1,000,000 out of 10 slices of pizza. That's quite a lot of pizza. But yes, this movie right here was just so great. It was so good. We just can't say enough about this film because it was so great. And I think the reason why I'm going so on about it is because there have been so many movies that we've gone to see, and we thought, oh, this is going to be so great, and you get in there and you watch it, and you're just,
it was all right.
All right, or my gosh, that movie was garbage.
Yeah,
and
it's refreshing.
Or it's you're constantly beat over the head with something
about the message,
throughout the whole movie. This movie has no messages whatsoever. So if you want to go see a movie that has a message, besides family, parenting, and
home is where you make it.
Yeah, anything besides that, then you need to stay away from this movie because you're not going to get any other message than that from this movie. I just can't go. And I think that's the reason why I keep harping on it was so good and keep harping on that message was because there was nothing extra to this movie. We started out from the moment the movie opened. Chris and I were laughing the entire way through, the whole way through the movie. How long was this movie?
It was short. It was barely, I think it was like an hour and maybe 30 minutes. It was not a long movie. So,
right.
Especially if you have young kids that have short attention spans, and this one jumps around, but even he stayed still for this movie and enjoyed it. So, if you got ones that are really hyperactive, it's a short enough movie to where they will not be like running all over the theater and dumping popcorn all over the place. So.
And it's not one of it doesn't have very. I don't remember there being any drag moments in it.
No.
where it just it's really good and it's going, and then all of a sudden it just kind of hits the brakes and stops, and you're like, okay, then let's get on to something else. Nothing like that. This movie just kept you going the entire time. Like I said. From the time the movie opens, it's just a laugh riot all the way through until the end.
And that's why I was hoping there was an end credit scene. I wanted more. Like,
right.
When you get done with the movie, you're like, oh, I want more. And the fact that I know now that it's a trilogy of books, and I could possibly get 2 sequels out of this,
Right.
I will be there for them.
Right. Yeah, if they continue to be as good as this one was,
Yeah.
most definitely. Most definitely. Well, that's our cue to go.
Yep. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell for the notification for when our next video drops. Leave us a comment in the comments. What did you think of this movie?
Right.
If you got any suggestions for what we might want to review next, let us know. And
Please do communicate with us. We'll communicate back with you. We're good about looking at the comments and getting back with people. Look, pack your kids up in the car, pack your family up in the car, and you guys go and see this movie, because this movie was really great and it deserves the support. It deserves the support. I'm not going to say wait until this one comes out on a streaming service. Go see it at the theater because it deserves it. Hey, we enjoyed having you with us tonight. Thank you for joining us. Enjoy your movie.